Hi, Pete. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome into... Is this a class? It's about to start. We're gonna start in about a minute or so. Everyone's just rolling in. And if you're just arriving, it's 60 minutes ish. Hi, Lindsay. 60 minutes ish, or actually a little under an hour of yin yoga. And yin yoga, if you're unfamiliar, you've heard about it, and you're not really sure what you're getting into, it's a pretty gentle, relaxing practice. There's not much, there's no strengthening, we'll say, in the shape. So we kind of hope in the practice to not use the muscles and to actually get into shapes that will hold long enough to then get more into a connective tissue stretch. So the practice, what I'm trying to say, is meant for that deep stretching, connective tissue, fascia kind of release to happen. And so if you're just joining us, welcome. It's a little less than an hour of yin yoga. Be prepared for a lot of chilling out, a lot of practicing self-love, inner peace, quieting the mind, and just chilling out. So we'll use, hopefully if you have something like a pillow or yoga blocks or a blanket. And so if you have something like that you can grab, just like a couple pillows work, roll up a blanket. If you have yoga blocks, that's perfect. You can grab those too. And we'll get started. So before getting comfy, if you wanna cue up music, a playlist, or anything like that, go for it. If you need to kind of create your little cozy space for yourself, dim the lights, light a candle, do your thing. And then make your way onto your back into a shavasana. All right, and then let me just real quick, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay from back here. Just want to make sure that the sound is okay. Emoji thumbs up, that is. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Deja. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn. Hi, Zia. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna turn Charles. I mean, this is just, now can I just say hi to everybody rolling in? Yay. My own music. You know what? I feel the sound kind of is a little bit wishy-washy through the phone, but maybe next week we'll figure that out. Guys, I just want to like chat and get excited about seeing all your names rolling in here. I'm going to turn the comments off for now, and we're going to do a little yoga. We'll turn them back on towards the end of the class. But please make your way into your first shavasana. Get comfortable on your back. Take up some space. Your arms and legs out wide. Shoulder blades, a little bit of a tuck. And close your eyes. To all the mothers, happy Mother's Day. This next little bit of time is 100% for you. We'll start by placing one hand to your belly, one hand over your heart. And so we know that this yin yoga practice, or we know that just practicing, especially in this predicament, and having distractions like whatever it may be around you, screaming kids, loud neighbors, whatever, it's hard to step onto your mat and commit to something. And so just for showing up right here, right now, feeling the movement of your breath, your heart beating, acknowledge that. Pretty huge, so send yourself some love. Breathe into that rise and fall. Big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. And then start to slowly hug your knees into your belly. Take a little sway from side to side. And so as you draw your knees and you rock and roll left to right, you get a little low back massage. So just feel that, enjoy that. And then sway on back to center to set up for butterfly. Soles of the feet touch. And your knees fall out side to side. So here's where pillows or blankets or yoga blocks might come in handy. You can snuggle them underneath your knees or your thighs. You kind of cushion yourself up. Everything becomes really supported, really cozy. And so reclined cobbler's pose or goddess. Goddess pose. Notice the theme. And then arms wherever they're comfortable, maybe just resting alongside of you. Maybe arms overhead in this almost cactus shape, lots of space for breath. Maybe palms to your belly, one hand to belly, one hand to heart. And if this idea of mudras, which is a hand gesture, so we know this one, we do that a lot in yoga, prayer hands. If mudras or hand gestures speak to you, you might try, we call this one yoni mudra. And so you're creating this triangle, and nothing has to be like rigid, just index fingers meet, thumbs touch, and downward facing, palms resting comfortable to your belly. And so maybe if your palms are resting on some part of your body, or if you chose any type of mudra or hand gesture, maybe you're starting to feel the energy of that might resonate. Something to help us draw inward a little bit more. Especially if you feel like a lot of what you do is maybe giving to others and sending that energy out, which is so wonderful and so amazing. I think so motherly. But tonight, a lot of drawing inward, of unplugging from the devices, from the stuff, from the things. And simply laying here on your back, observing the movement of your breath, the rise, the spaciousness of an inhale, and the grounding and the softness as you exhale. And if you don't know already, yin yoga, the holds are pretty long, so we hold everything for a few minutes. And so maybe you're beginning to really feel that tension along your inner thighs or your groin area. And that's of course intentional, that's what we want. So we place this tension along the inner thighs, holding it so long to the point where you move past those muscles and then deeper into the hips and that connective tissue. And we'll stay here for about 3 more rounds of breath. Stay committed to whatever hand gesture you might have gravitated towards. Last deep inhale. Open your mouth, exhale. And then use your hands to gently reach for your outer thighs. If you have pillows or blocks or anything snuggled underneath, you can slide them out and just slowly pull your knees back up together. It might feel a little bit achy, not good achy. And then toe heel your feet apart about mat width wide. With the feet mat width distance apart, keep that space. Start to gently drop your knees from right to left, so just really slow windshield wipers. Eventually to allow your knees to fall towards the left side and pause there. So feet haven't moved, they're still about mat width apart. Your knees are resting over towards the left side, so a really easy twist, but also this nice outer right thigh or outer right hip stretch. So you are gently externally rotated on your left side, and the hip is internally rotated on the right side. Just a few more breaths here, not a long hold. Just let the hips really soften, your shoulders to relax. And then a tiny bit of core engagement, so you can pull your knees back up to center and right over towards the right side. So we'll switch sides. Your knees fall to the right. You've got that outer left hip, outer left thigh. Gentle stretch. Beginning right here, right now, as you hold this really easy shape. Beginning to feel familiar with this practice tonight of really slowing down. Last couple breaths. Stay with it. Gently bring your knees back up to center. And then let the feet stay mat width apart, but your knees not begin to rest on each other, and just your arms beside you. So a really simple shape to create some decompression in your low back. So you might feel that. You might really notice the sacrum. So that flat bone at the base of the spine. Pull your knees in towards your chest, right? So draw the knees in. You can hold onto your shin bones and then pulling your knees apart wide. So really it's kind of like a child's pose shape, but on your back. So you're just drawing your knees towards your underarms. So nice for the inner thighs and the hips. You've already warmed all that up. And then keep just the right leg in and release your left leg out long. So we'll do half happy baby. So we'll start with the right side. And so happy baby pose or half happy baby would be grabbing the pinky toe side of the right foot and then the leg comes up. I'm going to move a little bit closer to the screen so hopefully we can all see well. I hope you can see that. So half happy baby is going to look something like that. So knowing that we're here for a few minutes, if this is very uncomfortable right now, start maybe 1 minute here, the next minute here, the next minute here, the next minute here, you know what I mean? So kind of like slowly, gradually let the body open up into that. So that's the whole point of the yin practice. Use the time in each shape. And so you're in your version of half happy baby. Your left leg that's extended long. You can totally soften there. You might, again, if any kind of gesture of palm to your body kind of sends that sort of grounding, maybe healing energy, you might place your left palm over top of your left hip, right? As the right leg kind of gradually makes its way forward and up. Okay, if you enjoy a bit of a hamstring stretch, maybe holding the foot, you may begin to gently straighten out your right leg. Any amount, it might be totally straight, there might be a lot of a bend, a little of a bend. So just any amount that in your body places some tension along the back of that right thigh. Stay with it, especially right about now where our body, our mind begins to feel like, all right, this is enough, I've been here long enough, we move past that. So we're here for about another minute. Less than a minute. Last couple breaths. Really take your time. And you start to gently release the grip of your right foot if you were grabbing for the foot there. And then stretch your right leg out long. And just pause in your Shavasana. Relax your arms and your legs. Just let that blood flow back towards the right hip. To the opposite side. So we'll take the left knee in. Again, you can start kind of like a wind relieving pose, so it could just be holding the left shin bone. Again, the right palm might rest on top of the right hip. Maybe gradually your arm reaches for the inner thigh and you're holding the foot. Eventually to bring the foot up. It's a half happy baby pose on the left side. So we do practice in yin pretty much, or for the most part, not using the muscles. But if we know that there's a certain target area in the body, so if it's, in this case, a deep hip opener, or whatever it might be, a heart opener or a hamstring stretch, whatever it is that you're focusing on, if using muscle strength somewhere else in another body part creates stability, then that's okay. And so this one, with holding either the left leg in or grabbing the foot and drawing it in, you'll feel it right now. You're using the strength of your arms, of course. And so don't worry if you start to feel a little bit of like, tension on this left arm to hold the leg in. That will build up. That's normal. And so it's just part of this shape. Couple more minutes. And never to feel like in yin yoga, or in this practice of yin yoga, we're stuck, or we're bored, or why am I holding this for so long? But feeling it as this experience, again, of drawing inward, of unplugging from all the distractions and practicing slow down and become aware, even if it's of those annoying thoughts or those things that want to pull you up. So really just become aware. Okay, no judgment or label, just become aware. And every time you can acknowledge or notice your breath, the sound of it, or even sounds in your space, anything that speaks to this present moment, anytime you can become aware of that, instead of getting sort of lost in that chatter of our brain, try to linger in those moments. Or linger in the moment, I should say. Okay, your last few breaths on this side, big inhales. Stay with it, exhale. Big inhale. Stay with it, exhale. One more breath. Okay, as you gently begin to release your left leg, your left foot, stretch it back out into Shavasana. Just relax your arms and your legs. Relax your feet so as your toes fall out side to side. That might help to relax or release tension in your lower back. Okay, and the hip openers will do that as well. So that half happy baby, that happy baby shape, deep hip opener is a nice way to relieve tension or pain in the low back area. So right here, just laying still. And then we'll pull your knees back in. So draw your knees in. This time tuck your hands underneath your thighs and do a little rock and roll forward and back. You can do it as many times as you need till the momentum is there to bring you all the way up. All right, so you're just seated facing forward. You can scooch on back so you've got the space to stretch your legs out long. And then we'll have the pillows or your blocks or your blankets, whatever you're using for support tonight, close by. You'll probably use them. And so we'll set up a half shoelace pose. And so we will start with the right leg crossed over your left. I'm going to face the screen here. So that leg is out long. You've got the right leg over. You do not have to stack your knees. Just bring this right leg over any amount, as much as it'll go. And then pillows, you can either sit onto the pillow if that feels better. You could tuck them underneath the belly and then eventually maybe the forehead. So you're cushioning yourself up to gradually move into a forward fold. As soon as you forward fold, left hamstring stretch. You'll feel that a lot. Okay, maybe you're getting it along the outer right hip, right? So that shoelace stretch sensation on the right side. All right, so half shoelace pose. Okay, and know that you can be creative with your props, with your pillows or your blankets. If it feels like a lot, maybe you're tucking it underneath the left leg if it's too much for the left hamstrings. All right? Kind of work your way into your version of that shape. If forward folds or really deep forward folds are hurting your lower back, if you're in pain right now, lift back up out of it, and you can just sort of, from a tall spine, work with a little bit of a hinge at the hips rather than a round. Makes sense? So from a tall spine, a hinge rather than rounding. here for about a little less than a minute, but keep using type of breath or kind of breath that's going to help to cool you down. And so in through your nose and really easy exhales through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And with each breath out, could that create that bit of a pull to take you slightly deeper into your forward fold if you are forward folding? One more breath in. Open mouth. Okay, if you're deep in the forward fold, start with pulling your belly button in so you kind of scoop navel back to spine. And then with that, curl your way on up. You can use your hands to help you rise. And so you sit up tall. Right, and then stretch the right leg out. And we'll come straight away into the opposite side. You'll step or cross your left foot just somewhere-ish towards the outside of the right hip. Your knees do not have to be stacked. If there's pain, stick a pillow underneath there. Maybe pillow under your belly, your chest, and start to fold forward. As you're on your second side, right hamstrings. Okay, and then you can visualize, you can really become aware over these next few minutes that you're holding it, of exactly where it is, or more or less where it is that it's showing up for you behind the right thigh. So if you feel like it's a lot kind of right behind the right knee, or if it's kind of one spot behind the thigh or more towards the inner thigh, the outer thigh, you get the point. But if it's kind of a pinpointed sort of feeling, shift so that the stretch feels really broad. So you're kind of really finding that pull along the whole back of the right thigh, right leg. Okay, so it might take a tiny little bit of shifting. All right, so moving to find your sweet spot. A little less than one more minute. Recommit, really stick with it. Such a huge part of the practice is to just hold the shape. And you gain so much of the benefits of by just holding these stretches for so long. And so really be there for it. Last breath in. Big exhale. Roll your way back up. Okay, so belly scoops in as you gently rise back to a tall spine. You can move your props out of the way, whatever you're using. And then we'll lean back to the palms. Place the soles of your feet flat. And then do those windshield wipers again, but this time seated. It's just kind of swishing side to side. Eventually back up to center. And then you'll make your way onto your belly. Okay, so have blocks or pillows still within reach. And then make your way flat onto your belly. Okay, and so we'll set up for Sphinx. And so this one really just creates a little bit of a curve, or maybe a lot of a curve, some compression in the low back. If, as you come up into it, so where we'll start is right about here. So forearms to your mat, elbows stacked under your shoulders. If holding that for a long time, or just right away coming up into this is like, a lot for your lower back, really just laying on your belly, you'll notice you'll still feel that curve there. So you could start just like a belly shavasana for the first like 30 seconds or minute you choose, and then maybe eventually you make your way up to your forearms gently, okay? So you decide, but we're gonna get right into it, your version of Sphinx pose. There's this slight engagement in your glute muscles. Once again, placing a little bit of pressure or using muscle strength wherever you need that helps to create stability. It could be toning up the glutes, it could be pressing the tops of your feet down so slightly. Could be pushing the elbows or the forearms down to get that really nice stretch across the belly, the chest, the pecs. Okay, you might already be there, but if you like somewhere to rest the head, you might have a block or a pillow to rest your forehead onto. Maybe you're just keeping the neck neutral. Maybe adding a little bit of stretching, left side, right side. Again, keep the feeling of your forearms pushing down, your glute muscles gently engaged. If you are up on the forearms and you'd like a little bit more, you can bend your knees, just let the heels fall towards the hips. Okay, and if you've tried that out and it doesn't feel good, just bring the legs back down. But if there's no pain, try to commit to it. if you like, you could stay right here, where you can begin to push your palms down into your mat. And so you lift the chest up a little bit more. What you're feeling in the low back, it's going to deepen. You're also going to get a really big stretch for the belly, the whole front body. Okay, if right up into seal works for you, but with the legs up it's just a little bit too much, you can slowly lower them back down. Choose what works with no pain. Last couple breaths. If you're all the way upright, you can bend your elbows slowly. Really, really, really take your time. Really take your time. All right, once you eventually come all the way back down, so I'm going nice and slow. Rest an ear or cheek to your mat. Have your arms up beside you, that cactus shape at your elbows. And then you're gonna hike the right knee up. So right into, we'll say a half frog pose on the right side. So your right knee lifts any amount, just as high as you can comfortably get it. So all this circulation right down into the lower back, right at the base of your spine. And then from here, keep the right leg just like that. So don't move the right leg, don't move the legs at all. You're just gonna push your weight up to your palms. And so you kind of come up like that seal again. So the right leg is lifted. And then you're gonna thread the left arm underneath you. So just a interesting little transition into a reclined twist. So you scooch the hips slightly. So you are now on your back in a supine twist. You can snuggle a pillow, a block, or anything at all underneath your top thigh. Adjust your bottom leg, adjust the shoulders, adjust your hips. Please do your thing to get comfortable on your back in a nice deep twist. Right knee pretty high up. You're still going to be feeling that a lot in the low back, or rather, I should say right up into the thoracic spine, that area. So your shoulders, maybe right up into the neck as you look over your right shoulder. And then knees sliding lower. You might feel it a little more in the lower back. So just notice where your body kind of organically wants to be. Really settle in to deep belly moving breaths. So feeling expansion of the belly, the ribs, the side body and back body as you breathe in, that slow contraction as you breathe out. So underneath the skin, what's happening is this internal organ massage. So your body's in the shape. Let your breath do the rest of the work. And close your eyes. Just drift off. Drift away. Into a little bit of easy. A little bit of being more kind to ourselves. And saying it's okay to be here, it's okay to do nothing. Sometimes doing nothing is everything. Couple more breaths. All right, so let's slowly move out of the twist. Bring your right knee back up to center. And then stretch your legs out long. So just Shavasana. Really, really short Shavasana. Stretch the legs. Notice really deep breath along your right side. And then we'll lay your feet flat. So bend your knees, feet flat to your mats. Reach your right arm up, roll on over to your right side, and then back onto your belly. So back over onto your belly, your arms up just alongside your ears, so that cactus shape at the elbows again, and then that half frog shape on the left side. So you're hiking your left leg or left knee up. That's it. Settle in right there. Start to press back up to your palms. And so the left leg doesn't move. And we'll do the same transition into the twist. So the left leg stays right where it is. You're going to start to thread your right arm underneath you. Scoot your hips over underneath so you can lay on back into your twist. Okay, it's left knee over towards the right. Something underneath that top thigh will probably feel really good. can lift the head to look right over your left shoulder. So that twist moving through the whole entire spine, even your neck. Okay, that cool flow of breath. Let it feel restorative. Let it be easy. Let it feel like doing nothing. And begin to soften into all the really, really amazing stuff, all the good stuff happening underneath your skin. And really not just physically, but how this can support us mentally and emotionally. And maybe a little bit of de-stress. And a choice to do something for yourself. A choice to be more kind to yourself. Your last couple breaths, flowing easy in and out through a soft throat, jaw, and tongue. And eventually back up to center to stretch your legs out into Shavasana. Just for that moment of rebound, of awareness of left side body, of just observing, feeling along left side body. So for your last hold tonight, you have the option to use, if it's close by, if it doesn't disturb this kind of vibe that you've already created for yourself, you have the option to use a wall. If you're pretty close to a wall and you want to set up legs up the wall, I'll guide through that in a couple seconds. If you're on your back and you're so comfortable and there's not a wall that you can use for your yoga right now, or you don't feel like getting up, whatever it is, just go ahead and lift your legs straight up. They don't have to be straight. You're not pointing the toes or doing anything fancy. Just lift the legs up, relax your arms, and just hang out here. if you're using a wall, you'll snuggle right up against it, one hip towards the wall, and then palm beside you, the palm that's away from the wall. Just kind of use that like a little kickstand. And then we'll lay on back, and you're just gonna bring the hips as close to the wall as you can, and let the legs rest right there. Relax your arms wherever you want. Whether you're using the wall or not, it's like the ultimate before bed yoga pose. And so on here we have like a minute left together. And so if you're not using a wall, if you're just laying on your back and you want to keep the legs up a little longer, stay there. If you are against the wall and you want to hold this for even 5 minutes more, stay there. But if right now you want to inch your way, snuggle your way back into Shavasana, go for it. That practice of self-care, of unplugging, of doing nothing, it doesn't have to end now. And so stay as long as you want. Thank you so much for practicing, for joining us. To all the mothers, happy Mother's Day. Namaste.